Hello, my lovelies. It's Ellie, and for today's video, I thought I would, do poetry analysis, because I don't just write poetry, I read a lot of it too. So today I'm going to read you one of my favorite poems, which is The Lanyard by Billy Collins, and then I'm just going to sort of talk about what this poem means to me, and why it's one of my favorites. So, here we go. The other day I was ricocheting slowly off the blue walls of this room, moving as if underwater from typewriter to piano, from bookshelf to an envelope lying on the floor, where I found myself in the L section of the dictionary, where my eyes fell upon the word lanyard. No cookie nibbled by a French novelist could send one into the past more suddenly, a past where I sat at a workbench at a camp by a deep Adirondack lake, learning how to braid long, thin plastic strips into a lanyard, a gift from my mother. I had never seen anyone use a lanyard, or wear one, if that's what you did with them. But that did not keep me from crossing strand over strand again and again, until I had made a boxy red and white lanyard for my mother. She gave me life and milk from her breasts, and I gave her a lanyard. She nursed me in many a sick room, lifted spoons of medicine to my lips, laid cold face-cloths on my forehead, and then led me out into the airy light, and taught me how to walk and swim, and I, in turn, presented her with a lanyard. Here are thousands of meals, she said, and here is clothing and a good education, and here is your lanyard, I replied, which I made with a little help from a counselor. Here is a breathing body and a beating heart, strong legs, bones, and teeth, and 2 clear eyes to read the world, she whispered. And here, I said, is the lanyard I made at camp. And here, I wish to say to her now, is a smaller gift, not the worn truth that you can never repay your mother, but the rueful admission that when she took the 2-tone lanyard from my hand, I was as sure as a boy could be that this useless, worthless thing I wove out of boredom would be enough to make us even. So this is also one of my father's favorite poems, and he's read it to me so many times that even when I'm reading it myself, I still can't help but hear it in his voice and read it the way I've heard him read it. So when you're hearing me do it, just know that it's coming from him. And this is kind of funny given what the poem says about parents, and in this case mothers in specific, but I think it also applies to all parents. There's no real way to repay the things that people give you, especially things that aren't really measurable. But we as humans can't really live with that. We feel a need to compensate for everything we've taken from other people. And I think that the best way to go about this is just to pass on that same kindness, from parent to child, from friend to friend, just extending that same kindness that we hope to receive ourselves. And this is why I've loved hearing my father read it, because this is something that I can't get for myself. It's the gift of words and the gift of having that voice in my head that is a kind one when I can't necessarily be kind to myself. And I think this poem is a beautiful representation of that. And this is one of Billy Collins' gifts, is sharing the truths of life, especially with love and relationships with one another, in a way that is very clear and childlike and innocent and still very powerful. And that's why the last stanza or 2 of this is my favorite. And here I wish to say to her now is a smaller gift, not the worn truth that you can never repay your mother. So that's my favorite line, and I think that's mostly because of what I've just said. And what follows that is a little harder because it's talking about the sacrifice, but up until that point I think it's really gentle about the truth and just beautiful. So that's just what it means to me, and other interpretations would be more than welcome, but that's what I have for today. So, thank you very much.